outside tonight.
Evil Dead. Rated R. In theaters April 5th.
Welcome to the Blind Rage Podcast. This is Brandon Ford.
And this is James Garibay, the idiot of the evening.
Yeah, we just had an epic fail. So this is the second attempt for Evil Dead 2013. And I don't think I ever heard you that distressed before.
First time for everything.
But it's all right. These things happen. At least, like you said, it didn't happen when we had started the movie. So.
Indeed. So, yeah. Let's continue or start over or whatever we're going to do.
Yeah, I don't... It's getting a little late over here and over there, and neither of us are up for all of the jibber jabber that we recorded doing that over. So I'm just going to get the plug out of the way, and then we're going to get into the movie. So I'd like to encourage everybody to please check out my books in paperback and Kindle editions by going to Amazon.com, typing in Brandon Ford. You'll also find my author page, which you can subscribe to and receive email notifications whenever I have a new release. If you prefer audiobooks, you can check out my titles on Audible. If you don't already, please follow me on Instagram at writer Brandon Ford. I'm also on both Twitter and Letterboxd at Brandon Ford. The Blind Rage Podcast now has an official Facebook page, so please don't forget to stop on by and like and subscribe. And please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcasting platform. And lastly, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, critiques, suggestions, recommendations, please feel free to email me directly at blindragepod81@gmail.com. Now, like I said, we are doing Evil Dead 2013. And this is the 92-minute theatrical cut, because I didn't even know there was an unrated version. Did you know that?
I did not, actually.
Okay, so now I don't feel so bad. Yeah, I was just looking up info on Wikipedia, and I was like, what? Yeah, there's an unrated version that's 97 minutes.
Yeah, I have the Blu-ray, and I'm surprised it's not on there.
Yeah, yeah, I have the Blu-ray too, and yeah, it's the R-rated cut, and the source we're using is from the DVD, because I had to have a smaller file to send you. So
works for me.
Yeah,
it's exciting to see this movie because it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, and to see Mr. Shiloh Fernandez. So yeah, if you want to watch along, please take note that we're watching the 92-minute theatrical cut. If you have the unrated version, I guess you're shit out of luck. So, all right.
All the more to enjoy then.
Okay, so we are going to begin with a 3, 2, 1 count, and then we're going to get into Evil Dead. Not the Evil Dead.
Not the classic from the 80s.
Just
But a
Evil
classic in the
Dead.
making from the 2010s.
Oh my god. Somebody's a little punchy. All right. Are we ready?
I think we are.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, play.
All right, so since I was an idiot and accidentally deleted the first recording, Brandon, how did you feel when this movie was coming out?
Well, because there were so many shitty remakes up until this point, I was not looking forward to it.
Really?
No, I really couldn't have cared less. I was like, it's gonna suck, just like all the other remakes. I didn't even think I was gonna bother. What actually happened was when it first came out on video, I did give it a chance, but I couldn't get into it because I couldn't tell what was going on. I didn't have an audio described version, and a lot of this is action oriented.
Right, very visual.
It's very exactly, that was what I was going for. So I couldn't follow it. And what used to happen when I would be watching movies on TV and I couldn't tell what was happening was I would start to drift off and start thinking
Right.
about something. I couldn't focus.
Well, yeah, if you don't know what's happening, how is it supposed to keep your attention?
Yeah. So I didn't finish it. I didn't get very far. And then when I discovered the Audio Vault website, I discovered the audio described version, and I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I thought it was very well done, at least the way it was described to me. You know, I like the first two Evil Dead movies. I wouldn't say that they're among my favorites. I'm not really that big on Army of Darkness.
Well, it's a straight up, comedy fest.
Yeah. And plus it's, period. And, like I said, I do like the first two, but they're not my go-to.
Right.
So, did you grow up on them?
I remember watching when I was like 5, Evil Dead 2 came on HBO one night and we watched it, but I was 5, so I didn't really know what I was watching. And then years later, when I was like 13 or 14, I was hanging out with my brother and his girlfriend, and they popped on Evil Dead 2, and the scene with Ash's girlfriend dancing outside the window when she's all decapitated.
Yeah, that's like
that
the
part-
most memorable scene for everybody.
Exactly. That part came on. I was like, oh my God, this is that movie? Like, I've seen this before. And so, yeah, but I didn't grow up with it or anything, but I was still, happy to have discovered that movie that I saw when I was 5 that no one knew what it was. And when I saw that they were remaking this one, I saw pictures in Fangoria, and I saw the images of her in the basement. I was like, ew, that looks pretty twisted. And then the trailer started to come out, and I always watch the Red Band trailers because it's so much more graphic. It actually shows you what the movie's gonna be. And I just got that much more excited. And I would tell my friends about it because I have a bunch of horror friends. And I was like, hey, have you seen the new, Evil Dead trailer? Like, no. I'm like, oh, you gotta watch this shit. And that would get them excited. And then when it came out, we all went out and watched it together. Oh, it was a blast.
Mm.
And just the way that it starts right here, like shit. You know, girl's on fire and she's loving every second of it. Her being
Yeah.
the demon, of course.
And, mad respect for them doing this all practical.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
absolutely.
Fede Alvarez said that the only CGI in the movie was just to clean things up.
Right.
And I you know what? I think this really was kind of a hit or miss with critics. Roper, Richard, or Rob, what is it? Richard Roper. He gave it a 1 star. He can fuck off. Yeah.
You're in Roper? No.
Yes.
Roper's was
Siskel's.
Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah, Siskel's predecessor. Then it became Ebert and Roper.
Right. Oh.
But yeah, he
I
gave
never
it a
paid
1
much
star.
attention to them anyway.
No, because they they're not they're not the audience for...
Exactly, and this is just like two people's opinions. Like movies, you got to judge for yourself. Like that's just the way it is. Like
Yeah, well,
so many people loved Hereditary. I didn't like it. Like.
But I think I'd heard some mixed reviews, like I said, from critics, but I spoke to some horror fans, some dedicated horror fans who I know like the original, and hold the original film sacrosanct. And Ash as such an iconic figure, and
of course,
they all loved it, and so I was really surprised by that. Right. So I figured that they must have done something right, and I think that a lot of it has to do with the practical effects.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can never. Well, okay, 9 times out of 10, you can't go wrong with practical effects because they just look, because of the realism that it brings, like criminy. Like that's, if you're gonna go practical, you got to do it well, but B, like it just adds a whole different element to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that it's a new movie for a new generation. That's how Bruce Campbell puts it, and it's amazing. And the fact that he signed off on this, like
yeah, if you have Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi seal of approval, you're in for something decent,
right?
But
that's actually like they're the old car from the 80s.
Yeah, which ends up in every one of Sam's movies,
yeah,
or shows or whatever. Yeah, he puts it in everything. I think he's got 4 of them.
Oh, jeez, that doesn't surprise me.
But yeah, and this was a 70-day shoot, which is insane.
Wow.
But it was because of all of the practical effects.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Prior to this, had you heard of Jane Levy?
No, I don't think I know her.
Yeah,
what is she known for? You don't know? You don't know?
She was. I was actually doing a little bit of research at work, and she was in a TV show called Suburgatory, I think it was.
Suburgatory?
Yeah, I don't know what channel it's on or what it was about. I didn't go that.
No, I don't think I ever saw it.
But yeah, it was probably. I think it was like probably one of those teeny shows, because I mean, she was not that old. She's probably like 20 here, maybe. But yeah, she's actually a redhead, but she dyed her hair to be a brunette. And she bears, this is just stuff that I read, that she looks a little bit like Emma Stone. So some of the people thought that that's who actually they were getting. And I love Emma Stone, But I don't know if she could have pulled this role off that Jane did.
I'm confident in Emma Stone's
Yeah.
abilities.
I want to see her in a horror movie, actually. Like, I want to see
Yeah,
what
that
she
would
can
be
do.
cool.
But, you know, this, like, Jane, she knocks it out of the park, like, with the entire role. Like, you can tell that she just dives into it wholeheartedly. You know, and then you watch this, and then you go to her show, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, and it's just, like, night and day characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying this because he's super hot, but I think Charlo Fernandez also does a really good job.
Oh, yeah. Everybody does. You know, like... And if you take the first letter of all of their names, you spell out demon.
Wow.
Yeah. I had a lot of time at work today.
And yeah, I was looking at the plot summary on Wikipedia. They don't call the book the Necronomicon in this one.
No, it's something Demonto.
Yeah, something like that.
Natoro Demonto, I think is what it was.
Do you know what the reason for that was?
No. I mean, if I had to guess, maybe a good theory was that they wanted to not have any kind of comparison to the original movies. Yeah.
Well, it's canon. I mean, it's in the Evil Dead canon.
Yeah.
Especially since Ash makes a post-credits appearance.
Right.
But
I mean, can you really call that Ash? I mean, it's just Bruce Campbell saying groovy. I mean, as much as we all love him.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the TV show Ash vs. Evil Dead?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. I've seen a few episodes. I haven't gotten too much into it.
Yeah, he is a really, really talented comedic actor.
Oh, absolutely.
He's got great comedic timing. He's very funny.
He would be a fun guy to go hang out and have a beer with.
Yeah, I've known people who have met him and they've said he's super, super nice and down to earth.
That's awesome.
He's not at all, affected. He's very, very, he's just a nice, down to earth guy.
I love that. I love hearing that.
I don't know. I think it kind of bothered me the first time I saw this that they had to go to the cabin with a purpose. They couldn't just go to the cabin,
Well, I like that they had a purpose, a different purpose than the original thing, because that's the whole thing of trying to keep it different,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me now, but when I first saw it, I was like, oh. Yeah, my initial impression.
Because I mean, I like that all plays into why nobody wants to leave, because they think it's just the withdrawals talking.
Yeah, exactly, and her delusions too. That's interesting. A plot element that they added to it, because it really does work, and I don't know what coming down from heroin abuse feels like, but I would assume it's not pleasant to detox.
No, probably not. I mean, I've never done anything that hardcore, but shit. But I think everybody can agree that even when you're detoxing, you don't go into a scalding shower and burn your skin off.
No, you don't do that. No.
A very hot shower, maybe.
Yeah.
God. Like, just every time I watch this movie, I just look at all of their performances, you know? And just every single one of them does amazing.
I can't imagine having friends like this who would go out of their way like that for me.
Right. And stand by you through your detoxing.
Yeah. Because, as it's shown in the movie, detoxing is pretty fucking ugly.
Yeah, no shit.
Charles kicking in hard. This should help you get through the night.
And just
I don't know.
this movie has a lot
But there's something dead.
in it, and like you can tell that everybody, not just the actors, but Fede Alvarez, like, and the director of photography, like with the lighting and everything, like they put so much time and effort and love and energy into this movie.
Wasn't there talk about him doing another remake?
A sequel has been like talked about, but that's all it's ever been.
No, for another franchise.
Oh, branching off Evil Dead or just other franchises?
No. A totally different franchise.
I think so. He did Don't Breathe. I haven't seen those actually. I want to. But
I could be wrong, and I probably am, but I think I heard some talk about him doing A Nightmare on Elm Street.
really?
I think.
Well, from what I've seen, like I'd check that out.
Yeah, for sure. But
Actually get it right this time.
the main thing, I think, would be to have the perfect Freddy. And that's not going to be easy if and or when they decide to do another Elm Street movie.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because it's funny to me how they thought that they could do that with do that being recast with part 2, where they had they first started shooting with another actor playing Freddy, and they were like, okay, no, this is not working, we need to get
Did
Robert
they really?
back.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and there's some footage of it that's actually in the movie. I believe it is in the gym. When Jesse is in the shower and you see Freddy coming toward the shower area.
Oh, like through the steam?
I believe that's somebody else. And you can see, because he doesn't move like Robert.
Right.
And I don't think that they had gotten to any of the dialogue scenes or anything like that, but they knew right away. It's like, this guy he's totally wrong.
Right. He's not Freddy. He can't emulate what Robert did.
No. And I think that initially they just thought that, oh, we can just get a stunt guy to do this. No, you need an actual actor for a Freddy.
Right.
And Robert is a very seasoned actor, very well-trained actor.
He's classically trained. He's classic theater trained actor.
Yeah.
Like shit. Like that's how he got the role as Freddy in the first place. I saw an interview that he went into his audition and he put like ash under his eyes to make him look a little more menacing.
Yeah.
The next day, he's gonna read from the book.
Yeah.
When they know he's not supposed to.
What is he from? I don't know him either.
I don't know. Where are you? Stop it, computer. Stop being weird.
You sure you want to take a chance with fucking with your computer?
I know, right? Okay. Yeah, my computer's being weird.
I don't know. Don't worry about it.
But I do know that the barbed wire is actually made from plastic, and he had to act like he was struggling to pull him away, which is pretty good on his part.
Yeah, I have the audio description describing all the images.
Yeah. I'm actually listening to that too.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. A haunting eye. It's funny because that dude looks nothing like he does in his IMDb picture.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, didn't they put like big glasses on him and like he's got shaggy hair? At least that's
yeah, shaggy hair, beard, glasses, and in his IMDb picture, no facial hair, short hair, very business suit-esque.
Really?
Yeah. He's on that Netflix show You currently, or a season anyway.
I tried to start that book and it was awful, and I tried to watch the first episode and it was awful.
Really? I've actually been very curious about it. He's done a lot of TV stuff. He was on that show Girls back in 2012.
Ugh.
How do you really feel? Yeah, a lot of TV stuff, but nothing really noteworthy. But it says American Horror Story, Jonas Sheeborn. Who's that? I don't know. Probably the last garbage season.
So they filmed this in New Zealand. Could you imagine being able to live in New Zealand for the 70-day or however long? I don't know.
For just over 2 months.
2 months in New Zealand. That must have been amazing.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, Bruce has shot a lot of stuff in New Zealand. Xena was shot there.
I remember hearing about that. Xena. I haven't watched that show in forever.
And the other one was shot there too.
Hercules?
Hercules, yeah.
Come on, David.
Yes, go drive the Jeep. It's a Wrangler. It's one of the best cars in the world.
You were supposed to be here to support me.
Well, I'm biased. I love Jeeps.
Oh my god. I am such an idiot.
Yeah, you like to go jeeping?
In my life, I do count on you.
I do. I have a Wrangler. It's awesome. I love it.
Okay, I was making a Clueless reference and it totally went over your head.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a minute.
Oh.
Eric, leave alone.
So you were being reprimanded for
How
not
dare you, puppy?
recognizing a Clueless reference.
Alright, she's trying to get away. Here's when the action really gets going.
It seems, at least from the way it's described in this version and in the audio, in the plot summary on Wikipedia, that they were trying to, not necessarily emulate, but pay homage to the tree assault scene in the original.
Yeah. Well, I mean, something has to happen to affect her, so I mean, why not?
I remember, I don't know what this says about me as a person and an individual, but I remember reading about the first one in a video guide before I'd actually seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And it mentioning that a woman gets raped by a tree. and I was like, all right, there's a movie where a woman gets raped by a tree. Okay, I have to see this. And, you know, granted, it wasn't what
Yeah, it's not
I
as brutal
thought.
as your brain leads you to believe, right?
I thought it was going to be like, you know, the trees from the Wizard of Oz throwing the apples. Like rape.
Like there's actually life and movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But I mean,
It's still pretty brutal. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think that was actually like a pond that they heated up.
Oh, well, that was nice.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that in a Friday the 13th movie, I can tell you that much.
Oh god, no, that chick almost died. Shit.
Several people almost died making those movies.
Right? Oh god.
Didn't they shoot this in the summer? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was their summer because I think it was shot in early 2012. So
Yeah.
yeah, our winter is their summer. So
Okay. Oh god, this scene is just like it's so well acted, but it's so sad because you want her to get away. The original is brutal, but like this, like the trees are choking her for crying out loud, and like lifting her off the ground, and like, ugh, completely violating her. God. Did you watch Don't Breathe?
no.
Yeah, me neither. I need to. I want to. All these years and I still haven't seen it.
I've heard good things. There's a
Yeah.
second one, isn't there?
Yes. But it doesn't have the same actors. Well, just the old guy. And yeah. But it's very controversial.
For what?
For like some kind of rape thing. Like he doesn't full on rape her, but there's a turkey baster involved.
Oh no.
Yeah. So. Ugh, God. Yeah, the thing just went inside of her. I want some of those frickin' contacts to wear on Halloween.
Well, I think the ones that they make now aren't anywhere near as painful as the ones they used to use.
Yeah. I was actually looking at Deadeye contacts, and they don't charge by the pair, they charge per lens. And guess how much each lens is? $160 for one frickin' lens.
Force attacked her? I don't know, it's just crazy withdrawal talk. Do you think we should take her to a hospital?
Well, maybe you better go for the non-officially licensed ones and go for the Party City version.
Oh yeah, then I can end up blinded by the end of the night.
For nothing.
Oh, sorry, no offense.
What about the wounds on her arms?
I pulled some thorns out. It looks like she might have run into a thorn bush out there.
Anywho, Olivia went on to make Gotham after this.
I've never seen Gotham.
It's good. It's really good.
Is it still on?
Do whatever it takes to get out.
No, they ended it after 5 seasons. Because, you know, obviously Bruce Wayne grows up and becomes Batman, and the show is just called Gotham. But it's the story of really Jim Gordon, and, like, yeah, Bruce Wayne plays a prominent role in it, but really it's from Gordon's point of view and his story and all the years that Bruce Wayne was training to become Batman. It's really good.
Wasn't Jada Pinkett on there?
She was. She was in the first 2 seasons. She played a mob boss. A mob boss that actually never existed in the comics. They actually wrote a role specifically for her. So, yeah, that's how awesome she was. I don't know what she auditioned for, but yeah. But yeah, there are some classic villains in there that we all know and love, like Riddler and Mr. Freeze, and I think, yeah, Joker's in there too.
There's a gay actor who plays the Penguin or something, right?
Yes, yes. And Cameron Monaghan from Shameless plays Joker. But my thing with that is that he completely emulates what Heath Ledger did with his Joker. It's it's not unique in any way.
That's not good.
No.
You know it's all in your head. Just try to get together.
Oh, I love the look she's giving him. She's like terrified and like, get me out of here, but they won't leave.
I'd be giving him some other looks, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you give him those looks anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, like, why are you still fucking with that book?
Eric, what are you doing? Please, would you just get rid of that thing? You should be downstairs helping your friend clean up that mess.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Come on, don't act like you don't care.
I liked too how they had the cellar
We can all agree he hasn't been with us for the past freaking
as is,
Well, he's here now.
shown in the original, in the floor, and
Yeah.
she gets chained down there, like what's her face does in the original.
Yeah, they definitely pay homage, but I like that.
Yeah.
I like that they don't rip anything off.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say even if they did, it was ripping it off because
Okay, like they ripped
But-
very little off.
there are nods, we'll call them, to the original.
Yeah, I mean the movie is called Evil Dead, so I mean we know what we're in for.
Well, I don't know.
As far as like sticking to its own story, its own time, like they did a solid job. They really did.
This
I
is something I'm glad I'm not able to see.
Oh, the puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No animals were harmed during the making of this movie.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, it's so sad to even imagine it.
Oh, somebody agrees with you.
Don't worry, puppy. Aw. Fake dog. Thankfully. Oh my god, my heart would just break if something that brutal ever happened to one of my dogs.
And a hammer, too. Jesus.
Aww.
She's in the shower. What happened? David?
What happened? She killed the fucking dog.
Mia, open the door.
Ugh. Oh, I could easily act possessed. You just twitch a lot. And then put your eyes at the back of your head.
Well, isn't the twitching done in post?
I don't know.
I would think that, because if it's done the way I've seen it in other movies,
And it depends on how big or how little, maybe. Like, maybe they fast forwarded a little.
yeah,
to make it
I
more-
would say that they probably sped it up.
Like, maybe right here where she's just, like, shivering and shaking. Maybe they sped that up a little bit.
What I would really like to know is how they did the needle in the eye
Oh yeah, that part gets me every
Practical.
time.
'Cause she stabs him repeatedly.
Yeah.
And how he doesn't die, I don't know.
Oh yeah, he gets thrown through the ringer. I mean, he's the one that summoned the damn thing, so you know.
Yeah,
it's
he
only
kind of
fitting.
deserved it, yeah.
But yeah, that needle in the eye thing, that always kind of makes me wonder too. Like what, like, maybe it's like one of those like fake things that like gets longer as you pull it out. You know, like
Retractable.
yeah, like a retractable knife.
I don't know. I mean, I would think it would be a sensitive. Maybe it was a fake head. I couldn't say because I can't see, but
Well, he doesn't pull it out from his direct eyeball. It's right underneath.
Yeah.
Like right underneath where eyeball meets orbital, where the skin is. You know.
Mm-hmm.
She's smiling at him. That's so gross. I love it. But yeah, just even the vomit scene is hilarious and disgusting.
Oh God, I hate people puking in movies. Because first of all it's gross, and second, I hate throwing up.
Oh yeah.
Even when I'm really sick, and like if you have a stomach virus or something, and the only way that you're going to feel better is if you throw up.
Oh yeah.
And I will prolong it as long as I possibly can and suffer as long as I possibly can because I hate throwing up.
Yeah, it's not the most pleasant activity.
No.
But oof. Yeah. A couple years ago I got super sick and yeah. Cold sweats, shivering under the sheets, and then like 2:00 in the morning, that's just when it happened. Like, oh God, get me to the bathroom! And yeah, out it came. It was horrible.
All right, let's change the subject.
Yes. But in movies, it's mostly just Jell-O, so, you know, take comfort in that.
Well, sometimes, from what I hear a lot of the time, it's chicken noodle soup.
Well, it depends on what they're going for, but the scene where she vomits on her face, it's just like all like Jell-O and corn. But I love this part. Screaming, "You're all going to die tonight." The music going, and then it just goes silent.
You are all going to die tonight.
Okay, I'm gonna try and watch this like with my eyes closed, just to kind of get a sense of what you experience.
Okay.
Oh, there come the eyes. Here comes your favorite. Ew. That's so gross.
You have the opportunity to look at Shiloh Fernandez and you're not seizing it.
I've seen this movie. Okay, fine. I'll open my eyes when he's on screen. How about that? And I think that chick that plays Natalie is Australian? She's either Australian or English. One of those two. But I think it's Australian.
Well, she might be a Kiwi.
A what?
A Kiwi.
What's a Kiwi?
Somebody from New Zealand. Shame on you.
Well, I don't know anyone from New Zealand. I don't know these things. But maybe. Tweezers.
I know, I laughed at that when I watched it yesterday. I was like, what?
Well, she's got to get the shotgun bullets out. Or pellets, whatever's in a shotgun. Then why did you read the fucking book, you asshole?
Mm-hmm.
just like this movie just gets higher and higher and higher, and the climax is just amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty relentless. Once it gets going, it doesn't stop.
Yeah, like it's balls to the wall the entire way through.
Yeah, it really doesn't pause for a breath, you know.
Like, I love that. Like, just when you think you're about to, you can breathe again. Like, nope, you're still holding your breath. And when Olivia was walking to the door, she was actually attached to something that like pulled her back to make her stop suddenly. Fake pee.
I hope so.
That'd be funny. I'm so dedicated. I held my pee and peed on myself.
Oh.
Olivia?
God. This movie is just so much fun.
Does Andrew like it?
He can appreciate the special effects aspect, but as like, you know, overall story, he's indifferent about it.
He's not really into horror movies, though, right?
Not really. Like, not gruesome, gory stuff like this. He's more of a psychological.
Psychological, okay.
Yeah, which I love psychological stuff as well.
Sure.
But, you know, like when you have something like this where it's just balls to the wall gore, and not like disgusting gore, but like cheesy, fun gore, you know? Because I mean, even though this movie is like, it shows a lot, you can still tell that it's fake, you know? Whereas something like Eli Roth, he takes it to a whole different level of realism, you know?
In 2013, if you have the opportunity to see like a major horror movie that is all practical effects, you know, that's something that you have to see.
Yeah, seriously. Like,
because it's like they don't do it. It's like it's a really a movie that you can watch and say they don't make them like this anymore, because they really don't.
Exactly. They don't.
And I think
like,
that's one of the main things that makes this one stand out from
like
not only
she's slicing off her face, and it looks good. It looks great, but you can still tell, you know, that it's a little bit fake. You know, it's not disturbingly real.
See, in this yeah. See, she's stabbing repeatedly, and I can't even begin to imagine how they did that.
Poor guy. Lots of jump cuts. I think of Alfred Hitchcock in the shower scene. God. I want to go back and analyze that needle in the eye shot. Like, because it might be like a retractable needle, but maybe they use like a little bit of a CG to like put the skin on there to really bring it home as to pulling out of his face, you know?
I don't know.
Maybe?
I don't know,
Yeah.
but they're for the releases on Wikipedia, they're saying that there's a director's commentary. Mine doesn't have a commentary track.
Yeah, the Blu-ray's got all the commentaries. It's with Jane Levy, I think Shiloh, and Fede Alvarez. And I think there's 4 people on there actually. But yeah, the commentary is really good.
I have to check. I don't think mine has a commentary.
You said you have Blu-ray, right?
Yeah, I have the Blu-ray.
Huh.
Or I don't know. I have to check. Because I'm sure that's something that they spoke about, since the special effects were such, a huge part of this.
Yeah. It's been so long since I've seen the commentary. But I know they talk about some of the special effects, not all of them, but some of them. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. She's going in there.
I never heard of this, sugar as a remedy. Water and sugar.
If you're like losing too much blood or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. Honestly.
Yeah. And it's David who says it, right?
Yeah.
And he's a mechanic. His character.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's like one of the old wives' tales that's like quote unquote common knowledge.
Oh.
I don't know. I love her line after she shoots herself with a nail gun. She's like, "Why does my face hurt?" That shit cracks me up. And for all those, if you have seen this movie, then you know what I'm talking about. If not, well, you shouldn't be listening to this right now anyway. God, the lighting in this movie is just awesome.
Why did you lock me down here? You were supposed to help me. Hey, we're trying to help you. Okay?
Yeah, we're trying to lock you in a basement. We're helping you.
You got violent and we didn't know what else to do. Like something really terrible has happened and we have to get out of here now, okay? Don't understand.
Uh-oh.
He's not gonna let
She's
you.
turning.
And he's not gonna stop till he has you. Until he has all of you!
Oh, crap.
Oh. That's problematic. Of the original Part 2 and Army of Darkness, which one do you like the most?
And 2.
Yeah.
I like 2 because it's a remake / sequel of the first one. It's like the characters are a lot more developed in the second one.
Do you have like Blu-rays of all of them?
I wish. No, I just have the Evil Dead on DVD, but it does have some good special features in there.
Oh, you can get a Blu-ray double feature of 1 and 2 for like $6.99 on Amazon.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it's Blu-ray. It's 1080. It's not 4K because they have 4K of.
That's okay. I don't have a 4K TV anyway.
But yeah,
Oh God, the box
double
cutter tongue
feature.
scene. Sorry.
the double features is pretty cheap. It's 2 discs. Lionsgate put it out. It's got a bunch of commentary tracks.
That's cool. I'll have to pick that up one day. Ugh.
But-
oh my goodness.
I don't remember who put it out. I think Scream Factory put out Army of Darkness with all 3, because there's supposedly 3 versions of it. There's like a theatrical, an unrated, and a director's cut or something like that.
Wow. All right, Brandon, I've got some Evil Dead trivia for you. How well
Hit
do you
me.
know this movie?
Not very.
In the opening sequence, who kills the possessed girl? Another
Her father.
demon? Her friends? Her father is correct. What is the name of the girl in the opening sequence? Annie? Cheryl? Shelley? We never learn this.
I
I don't know why, but I
want to say Annie.
Wrong. We never learn this.
book does not.
Alright, well, this one I already told you. The first letters of the main character's
Fucking
name spell which word? Raimi, demon, Ashley, or death?
Should be Ashley, but demon.
Yeah. Why are the 5 young people at the cabin? To party, naturally. It's a low-key reunion. To scatter the ashes of a beloved dog. Or so Mia can kick her heroin habit.
Uses some
Kicking heroin.
alphabet. There's some translations, but
Let's see. What does David give Mia behind the cabin? A family Bible, a bottle of aspirin, a necklace, or a photo of their parents?
The necklace. Which she rips off later because she's a cunt.
That bitch.
it says
Yeah, too easy. Too easy. Let's see.
feast on 5 souls. The sky will bleed.
See, this one I still can't figure out, even though we just watched it. Where did David and Mia's mother die? At home, in a hospice shelter, a mental hospital? No one knows. She disappeared.
It's either a hospice. I think it's a hospice.
Yeah, I think so too.
I know she's not in some kind of facility because they talk about, in her last days. I think Mia says in the hospital that she was calling for David.
Right. Okay. That's right. Oh, it is called the Notorum Demonto is the book.
Yeah. Does it look like the Necronomicon? Does it have a face on it?
It doesn't. It's more. It actually looks like it looks like something Leatherface would make. Like,
Oh.
it actually looks like human skin, like this sickly stitched together.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have to kill her.
Ooh. When Mia starts to see things, why don't the others agree to leave the cabin? They know the bridge is out. They're having a good time. They think it's just withdrawal symptoms. It's night and visibility is too poor.
Oh, God. Withdrawal symptoms.
What does Mia do that convinces David something is really wrong? Vomits black goo, levitates, showers in scalding water, describes events she couldn't have witnessed. No.
Scalding water.
Too easy. Too easy. We just saw it. Oh. Mia tells Natalie, I can smell your dirty blank. Fear, filthy soul, cheap perfume, unprintable name for lady parts.
Well, as much as I would have loved for her to use lady parts, it's
I know.
filthy soul.
Oh god, this arm amputation scene is great.
There's a couple arm amputations in this.
Mm-hmm. And that was actually somebody else's arm doing the twitching. And there was like a fake arm where her arm and elbow are to like actually slice through.
Mm.
Yeah. Let's see. How many souls does the taker need? The taker of souls, that is. 3, 4, 5, 6.
5.
What are the 3 methods for purifying a possessed person? Beheading, drowning, or burning. Burning, dismembering, or buried alive. Freezing, burning, or dismembering.
B.
Yep. How does David initially intend to purify / kill Mia? Burning, dismemberment, live burial, none of these.
He's gonna burn her, right?
Yes.
And then she starts singing.
Mm-hmm.
So much better now.
Aw. Oh god. Oh god. You just see the nerve sever when the arm falls. What does David do to Mia before burying her alive? Dresses her in a red dress, kisses her, apologizes to her, takes off her buckthorn necklace.
Okay.
Red dress.
Yes, sir.
I only know all these because I watched it yesterday.
I know. um, yeah, the rest of these are just too easy.
Where are you getting these from?
I looked up Evil Dead trivia, and it took me to this zoo.com website where it's got like all these there's like trivia questions. So it's pretty fun.
Specific ways.
Yeah, the rest of them are just too easy.
A live burial. Bodily dismemberment.
You
Oh,
have
yeah, we're
to.
talking about the purification right now.
Yeah, Lester agrees. You have to find one of those again for a movie, another movie.
Indeed. That was like, I saw that and I was like, okay, I gotta ask some of these tonight.
She'll be at peace. Am I sure? Of course.
Some of the old ones. Let's see what else we got.
Look, I'm sure of one thing. Whatever is inside Mia is the cause of all this. If she dies, then this thing is gonna die with her.
Let's see. 10 things you might not know about the Evil Dead. 10. The medieval setting of Army of Darkness was originally intended for Dead by Dawn. Interesting. Most of the Evil Dead remake was shot in order. Cool. Sam Raimi's early short film, Within the Woods, shares many shots with the Evil Dead. Nice.
Yeah, I heard that's really, really bad.
Was it like a college film or something?
I think it was one of Super 8.
I'm gonna end this nightmare.
Oh, puppy.
I haven't actually seen it, but I've known some people who have, and it's supposed to be pretty bad. It would surprise me if it wasn't.
It was like
on
an actual
YouTube.
film?
No, it's a short.
Oh. Go on, dogs. And of course, Marnie has to stay here with me.
Marnie always has to stay there with you.
Yeah, she does. Let's see. The original movie had some interesting work titles. Okay, that's all we got. Everyone knows that The Evil Dead was originally planned to be titled The Book of the Dead. But did you know it went through a few working titles including Blood Flood, 101% Dead, These Bitches Are Witches, Fee Monsters, and The Evil Dead Men and The Evil Dead Women. Only some very rare Mexican prints of the film retain the Book of the Dead titles.
I've heard the Book of the Dead, but the rest of them I'm calling shenanigans on. I don't think that's true.
Well, it is a website called popcornhorror.com. But I actually didn't know about the Book of the Dead. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I remember Bruce talking about that in his book.
All right, on. I should read that. Stephen King was an early fan of The Evil Dead. Right on.
He talked about that too.
He saw the movie at the 82 Cannes Film Festival and was blown away by it. The Evil Dead is part of a long-running horror joke. The Hills Have Eyes poster that appears briefly in The Evil Dead is Raimi's homage to Wes Craven's use of a ripped poster from Jaws in The Hills Have Eyes itself. Interesting. Craven responded by having Nancy Thompson watch The Evil Dead on a TV in A Nightmare on Elm Street, and Raimi countered by hanging a Freddy Krueger glove above the tool shed door in Evil Dead 2. Really?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Wow, I didn't know that. God, now I've really got to get Evil Dead 2. Lovecraft inspired much of the lore behind the franchise. Right on. There have been a few Evil Dead video games. How have I not played these? I enjoy video games. The creepy passages actually mean something.
Mm.
And there's a fascinating piece of Evil Dead history somewhere. Okay, well that's very vague.
What the hell?
When location shooting was complete in January 1980, the crew put a time capsule in the trapdoor hole. The items were contained in a cigar box and are thought to include a piece of a beam, a piece of gaffer/duct tape, a spent shotgun shell, a sample of fake blood, and a handwritten visual code to the film. Interesting. A fan did claim to have found it, but his findings weren't entirely convincing, and some consider it lost altogether after a fire at the site.
Yeah, I think so. Because Bruce does talk about going back to their to the house, and there's like nothing left but the fireplace.
Aww. Does he mention where they put it? Oh wait, it was under the house, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's gone.
Aw, that's sad. That would have been cool to retrieve by anybody.
Maybe that was why he went back there. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah,
but I know
probably.
he talks. I know he does talk about it in one of the books.
I mean, we all know that cast and crew went through the ringer making that movie.
They did.
Hey, hold on. Don't tie on me, please.
Yes, and now we see the star of the movie, the Jeep Wrangler.
I just don't want to become the devil's bitch.
Ah, he's gonna become the devil's bitch.
Mm.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Well, you're gonna try. God bless you for so.
It would be a lot more fun to be Shiloh's bitch.
Indeed, indeed. God, I love how this movie keeps you captivated the entire time.
Well, you're fucking reading trivia over there
What? I've seen
instead
this.
of
I've
being
seen
captivated.
it. Well, to our defense, we are doing a kind of a commentary for it, so you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's not like this is my first viewing.
I'm sure that this is probably something that you don't know off the top of your head. But was Evil Dead 2 ever officially rated?
I don't know.
I don't think it was.
I honestly could not say. I thought it was always that they were just all rated R.
No, I'm pretty sure the first one went out unrated. And I thought the same for part 2, but it must have been because the first time I saw the second one first. I bought it from Walmart on VHS.
Yeah.
And Walmart won't sell anything that isn't rated or rated NC-17. So it must have been.
Well, considering it came out in '87, like that was when the ratings board were kind of like at their height of, destroying movies. So I don't know.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you necessarily have to go through them. You can go out
true.
unrated, but you just have to deal with not being distributed to as many theaters.
Right.
Chainsaw Massacre 2 went out unrated.
Rotten Tomatoes says rated R, but this was like in 2000, so I don't know, honestly. What it do? Initial release rating?
Hmm.
No, just a bunch of reviews and people's negativity and other people's positivity. I don't know. I don't even know where to really look for it. Maybe Wikipedia?
Oh, it doesn't really matter.
I know, but now you got me curious, you punk. La 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 la. Dum 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 dum.
I remember the first one was released and re-released and re-released by Garibay so many fucking times.
Mm-hmm.
I was given the first one as a birthday present by a friend long time ago on VHS. It was one of the Anchor Bay ones. It was in a clamshell, and it was widescreen. It was like one of their special releases.
Nice.
But it was defective. There was no audio.
That sucks.
Yeah, I was pissed.
Alright, so I found something. I mean, and granted, it is Wikipedia, so take it with a grain of salt. To the MPAA, Raimi was contractually obliged to shoot the film with the intention of it earning an R rating. Upon reviewing the completed film, DEG's executives felt that Evil Dead 2 would almost certainly receive an X rating, thereby limiting its commercial prospects. Lawrence Gleason, the company's president of marketing and distribution, felt that if it were to be cut for an R rating, the film would have been about 62 minutes long, and both Raimi's vision and the audience enjoyment would have been sabotaged as a result.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then there's other stuff about here on it. But
It's like,
yeah.
I guess they made a certain exception
Yeah.
for Evil Dead 2 at Walmart.
Because, I mean, like, really, it's a horror comedy. I mean, like, it's so silly.
Yeah, it's really silly.
But in
It's
the
like
horror way.
it's like the gore is very similar to, you know, like a Peter Jackson.
Oh, yeah. Cut his head off! Cut his head off! Oh, shit. Oh, God, I cannot believe she actually agreed to be buried.
How deep?
Not very, just like a foot. I mean, from where they're showing right now, like, she's got a piece of, like, plywood over her chest so she can breathe, and they're pumping oxygen in.
Ooh.
Into, like, the bag on her head. But, you know, like, still.
No.
You know, like, yeah, no. But when he's, like, on top of her grave and, like, apologizing, like, she's actually under there.
What?
So, like, yeah, like, he had to, like, say the line, they had to get the shot and get her out, like, as soon as possible. because even though they were pumping in oxygen, it's still very limited.
Ugh.
You know, like you don't want to risk anything.
Yeah.
Like
That's
it's very disturbing. Like I'm actually like my claustrophobia is actually setting in just talking about it. But that's dedication.
All alone with our sick mother. And I was just a
Yeah, could get a little hanky. I don't know.
every time she
You really have to
said you were coming to see her.
trust
Oh yeah.
Promise.
Oh yeah.
the director and
Did.
everybody
But there's
who's
a behind
responsible.
there's a behind the scenes thing
I know mother hates you.
on the video, and they show
And
him like digging her up, and she's just like has her hands covering her eyes. She's like, "Okay, can I come out now?"
Oh,
It's like, "Oh, Jade, come on, yes, you've earned lunch." Yeah, like to agree to be buried. Oh, that's just a terrifying thought to me. I don't know if I could do it. Because I'm claustrophobic, and no. I don't even want to be buried when I die. I want to be cremated.
well, Sissy Spacek was really buried in Carrie,
Yeah, she was.
and that was upon her insistence.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
she said it's supposed to be my arm coming out of the grave. I want it to be my arm coming out of the grave.
Wow. That's
So, yeah.
awesome. That's badass on her part.
Yes, she was like curled up in like a box. I don't think she was. Well, she was underground, but I don't think she was, that deep. But like I
Right,
said,
like
she was
not
in
like
a box.
Covered in dirt. Because I mean,
Yeah.
they're fake rocks, right?
Yeah. Because it had
So
to be. They
So
had to
all-
be moved.
Yeah, and all she had to do was just reach up, which is very
Yeah.
effective, even to this day.
And I think she was communicating with the director with a walkie-talkie, and he told her exactly when to reach up.
Oh, that's so funny.
Come on, Mia, come back to me. Come on.
I've always loved Sissy Spacek. She's such a unique looking woman.
Well, she's very unique talent.
I love the music in this movie, too. Aww.
Chloe Grace Moretz should look at the original Carrie and hang her head in shame.
You're gonna hate me for this, but I don't think the remake was all that bad.
Oh, God.
Because, it's a different time, and it's a different kind of, kids being bullied, Like,
It was terrible.
I liked it. I mean, I'm not going to say it's like, a wonderful movie, but I mean, I thought it was a good updated version of the story. Like, because back in the 70s, it was the oddball looking kids that were getting picked on, whereas nowadays it doesn't matter what you look like.
Well, you know what I fucking hate? Well, I've seen the original Carrie so many fucking times that I know the thing backwards and forwards. And what I hated was they used a lot of the dialogue from the original. And I think I read somewhere, I could totally be making this up because it was so long ago and I blocked a lot of it out of my head. But I remember I was like watching it and while I was sitting at my computer and I was like, this is way too much. This is like plagiarism. And I remember looking it up and it was like the script was written by, I think, Lawrence T. Cohen, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember reading something that said that because so much of his dialogue was used, they had to give him a writing credit. But somebody else wrote the script.
Well, I mean, when you have a story that's originally based off of a book.
Yeah, but the dialogue isn't taken out of the book.
I know. That's, kind of the point that I was, going to make before you rudely cut me off. No, I'm just teasing. But, there's only so much you can write, a way to write the story and the dialogue, I mean, not to say that they couldn't, but maybe they just didn't try hard enough. But, to get the points across, there's only so many ways you can say certain things, I guess.
It was lazy.
Yeah. I mean, I take it for what it is. I enjoyed it. That's what matters. Other people, like we say, our
She was
opinions
too pretty.
are our
Come
own.
on. She was way too fucking pretty.
I thought she did fine. And I love Julianne Moore, so...
Well, of course.
I thought she did great as Margaret.
Julianne Moore can do no wrong.
Yeah, she's like one of the few, character actors left out there. She's freaking amazing. I love her.
Yeah, she can do no wrong. I've seen her in some shitty movies, and even she delivers a really good performance. Even given a shitty script, she can still make something memorable out of it.
I don't know. Psycho was pretty bad.
She was good in it. I thought she was good in it.
Well, yeah, I mean, performance-wise, it was fine, but just the lines she was given,
Well, it was
the one about her
the original
fucking Walkman.
script. It was the original script, so
I'm just I could have forgiven everything about that movie, but hang on, I have to go get my Walkman. Really? You're gonna go talk to the sheriff about your sister possibly being dead, and that's what you're thinking about is your fucking Walkman? Come on.
Well, the original line was "Let me go get my purse," and
Still.
she didn't have a purse. She had the backpack. And when she first comes on screen, she has the backpack and she's listening to her Walkman.
Yeah, I try to block that movie out as much as I can.
And she worked in a music store, so I think that was what her character was supposed to be very into music.
Yeah, but still, that movie just should not have been made.
No, I agree.
How
I thought Vince Vaughn was awful. He was so bad. And I think he gets way too much credit for being a decent actor, because I don't think he can act for shit.
He's really not good. I want to punch him in the face. I don't know what it is about him. Has nothing to do with Psycho, but whenever I see him on screen, I just seriously want to punch him in the face.
He's not natural. He does not come across as natural.
No. I'm sorry, Vince Vaughn, if you ever listen to one of these, but, that's how I feel. I mean, jeez. Ugh.
I even thought Anne Heche did a decent enough job.
Yeah. I don't mind Anne Heche. I love William H. Macy. He's one of my
he was good
actors.
as well.
Awesome.
I mean, they had, for the most part, with the exception of Vince Vaughn, a really good cast.
But if you're gonna remake a movie. Don't give us a shot for shot shit.
Yeah, it was. Well, so many people see the original as a perfect movie, and I get it. But there are so many generations that will just, see it as a fossil because it's from the 60s. It's in black and white. And I think that Gus Van Sant was trying to update it so that younger audiences would give it a try.
Right, and I get that, but I mean, you can still make it decent and entertaining.
I don't think he thought there was anything wrong with Hitchcock's vision, and he wanted to emulate that, so
he just wanted to put it in color, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
And when I saw Psycho when I was 9 or 10. And I kind of had that mentality too, because, I'm a kid, I don't want to watch black and white movies. But when I saw Psycho, it genuinely creeped me out. The overall story and everything that went with it, you know, it kind of opened my eyes a little bit, you know, to black and white movies. And since watching that movie, that's when I really gained an appreciation for the old stuff. Like, that's why I started watching a bunch of stuff going back even further to begin with.
Well,
Because of that movie.
because my dad liked a lot of the older stuff, especially Hitchcock, when I was growing up, there were two movies, older movies, black and white movies, that I knew that I had to go into with an open mind and that I had to respect because they are such classics. Psycho and Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, yeah, Night of the Living Dead is great. I saw that movie when I was like 13, and my god, it creeped me out.
And, you know, as growing up, since I was so interested in the genre, you know, of course, these were movies that I wanted to see.
Right.
So, and I really don't remember being bored by either of them. And
No.
well, I remember I watched them a lot as a kid.
When did you first see Night of the Living Dead?
I was young. I was either 10 or younger.
Nice.
Because it used to be, I don't know if it still is, it might be, but it used to be an annual thing for PBS. They used to play it on Halloween every year.
Really?
And I do remember watching it like 2 or 3 years in a row.
That's cool. God. Like, there was just so much more imagination, you know, in the old movies. Like, it's what you don't see that creeps you out. Ah!
And you say that as we're watching basically a splatter movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god!
But that's just it.
snorted.
Like, we've become so desensitized now that this is nothing but a comedy, and it's fun.
Yeah.
You know. And
Well, I don't think that this one is as much camp as the first one is.
No, like, it's very little cheese, but it's mainly all horror, and that's why I love it so much.
Yeah,
you know? Because, like, they
there-
went so much into that element, you know.
Yeah, there are some cheesy moments, like,
Yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, for the most part, it's very much steeped in horror, and it's very
That's the root of this movie, horror.
and it's visceral.
Yes.
It's visceral. It's unrelenting. It, like I said before, once it gets started, it does not stop.
Yeah, it doesn't give you a chance to breathe until it's over.
There are no it's definitely a movie that does not lag, and
No,
that's
I love it.
that's something that I really appreciated about it.
And just the actors that they got, and everybody was so gung-ho
Yeah,
to
everybody
do it,
everybody
you
was
know?
really good. I thought, yeah.
You know, like that interview with Jane Levy where she's talking about Bruce Campbell coming up to her and being like, "Are you prepared to work like 18-hour days and screaming at the top of your lungs and, you know, like drowning and swimming in blood?" She's like, "Yes, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it."
If he came up to me and said that shit, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah!"
And you're like, "Yeah, where do I sign up? Come on, I'm down. Stab me in the Achilles with a pencil. I'm game."
Go back to hell, bitch.
Yeah. Go back to hell, bitch.
I mean, I always said that if I grew up with the kind of friends like John Waters did, who were as dedicated to filmmaking and as supportive as they were, who stuck by him through all his weird ideas and put in all the hours and committed every weekend to film, like pink flamingos and stuff, I would have tried to do it. Because even though my passion lies in prose, I think that's really where my heart is in books, but I definitely would have wanted to do that.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing that says I couldn't have done both. So, but yeah, that's the main thing, is having people who are reliable enough to come back and to suffer for the art. You know, I mean, like, that's why it took Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead, so long to make. It was because they were working with nothing.
Right.
And they had to make the best.
Pretty much unbearable conditions.
Unbearable conditions.
So many people, said fuck off. But I mean, you had a small core group of people that wanted to do it and did it because they were that dedicated.
Because they were as passionate about it as Sam was. Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing with the original Basket Case. That was shot on weekends over the course of a year or more, and it had to be shut down like a handful of times because they kept running out of money.
Oh shit.
And poor Kevin Van Hentenryck had to keep that ridiculous haircut. Frank said he complained about it so much, he wanted to cut his hair so bad.
Aww. Silliness.
Well, that hair was ridiculous. It was basically a Jerry curl without the Jerry.
Oh my.
I just made that up. Oh, well, you know what's funny is about that with brain damage. Kevin comes back for a cameo because Frank was like, I think it would be so fun if, cause they have a scene on the subway. It's like, I think it'd be really fun if we had a shot of you on the train holding the basket.
Oh,
and Kevin was like, all right, I'm in. And he showed up with a buzz cut. And Frank was like, what the fuck? And they had to find a wig for him.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, but I love hearing those kinds of stories about guerrilla filmmaking. You know, like it people who suffered for their art, who had to work in these horrible conditions that weren't even sure if the movie was ever going to get made, if it was ever going to get seen.
Right.
But they put themselves through the ringer because they shared in the director's vision and they wanted it done, you know?
Yeah, and a good chunk of the time, these are the movies that become cult classics.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's because of all the hard work that was put into them that they became cult classics. They may not be the most well-made films, but or the most well-acted or well-written, but they have a style or a look or a feel that's very much outside the mainstream. And
if you do watch it, you know, like, you can feel that passion that they had. Like, it comes through in the making. You know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And audiences are always drawn to something, especially if it's cinematic, that's different. Mm-hmm. But which is ironic because the major studios think that it's safe to just keep making the same movie over and over again.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. There's just so much about American filmmaking that frustrates me. Well, American filmmaking by the major studios.
Right. Especially nowadays. What, puppy?
I think he agrees with me. That's right.
God, and this movie was like barely 90 minutes with the credit time.
Yeah, 92, and the unrated is 97. I can only imagine how much additional gore is in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at my Blu-ray because I don't know if I have the unrated or not. I might because I think the vomit scene like lasts a little bit longer, like a few seconds.
I think
I don't
it's when did you get it?
When it came out on video.
Then no.
No.
The unrated came out in 2018.
Yeah, no, I've had it long before then.
And it's a 2-disc that has the theatrical and the unrated.
Okay, yeah, no. Then I have the theatrical version. I don't know. Maybe it was that Mandela effect thing. But it does have some really good special features. I know that much at least.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check mine to see if I have the commentary. Because I would like to hear that.
Evil Dead 2013. And here's the man. He looked at us. He broke the fourth wall.
Oh. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful movie.
Indeed. One of the few modern remakes that is actually worth revisiting.
Indeed. Time and time again. You will not get bored.
You know, I'm thankful that so much time has passed that I really don't even remember the majority of the remakes that were coming out during that time of back to back to back to back remakes.
I know, there was just so many.
And this came out, you know, right when it was starting to die down.
Right.
So I was glad of that, but then I thought, I was like, oh no. Yeah. I thought this was over.
But like it stands on its own in so many ways compared to the others. Like it doesn't blend into that whole remake fad like when it's its own thing at its own time.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah. And I like I said, I definitely respect Fede Alvarez for going with the practical effects and taking the time to do it. And he was lucky to have gotten a 70-day shoot. I mean, this was a $17 million budget, which is low for a Hollywood movie. But I mean, it's not so low in 2013.
It's enough to work with.
It's yeah, that's a good way to put it. And I think they definitely utilized, and plus it made almost 100 million at the box office. So
nice. And it still resonates with horror fans, which is, you know, one of the best things you could ask for.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know that those who are dedicated devotees of the original films are, you know, rabid, ardent devotees of the original film. And if you fuck with those movies, it's sacrilege. And the majority of them embraced this version.
Oh yeah.
So that says a lot, I think.
I mean, you have your like the hate on this movie is not as big.
No,
There's
it's
more,
really not.
There's more horror fans that love it than hate it, which is very good. A very good statistic, if you ask me.
Yeah, and I remember a friend of mine who is like a huge fan of the original movies and a huge fan of Bruce Campbell, saw the Evil Dead musical,
Nice.
sat in the splash zone, you know, and he went to go see this theatrically. And plus, he's a tough audience. He fucking hates everything.
Ah.
And I was fully expecting him to say it sucked. But when he came back with a glowing review, I was like, wow, you actually liked it? Okay, well.
Now I gotta go see it.
But, so, yeah, that was Evil Dead 2013.
If you haven't checked it out, check it out because it is awesome.
I think so. I will agree. And Shiloh Fernandez is worth the price of admission because he's very pretty.
Yes, he is.
So, unless you have any final thoughts, I think we should wrap this one up.
Oh yeah, go check out the two actresses' shows. Olivia's in Gotham, and Jane Levy is in Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. It's a fun musical show. Watch the first season. Don't bother with the second one. It's too political and bullshit.
I never even heard of that.
It's fun. It was an NBC show. The first season, she goes for an MRI because she has these headaches, and then something happens with the MRI machine, and it gives her this these powers to hear what's going on inside people's heads, but it's all sung, you know. So like every song you can think of is sung via people's thoughts, and only she can hear it, which is what makes it so much fun. So
did you watch that show that was also a musical about the ex-girlfriend something? What was it called? You know what I'm talking about? It was on the CW. It was something ex-girlfriend, crazy ex-girlfriend, something like that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but no, I never watched it.
I'd heard good things, but my tolerance for musicals is minimal.
That's right. You're not a fan.
No.
Weirdo.
Yeah,
well, if you like musicals.
I shouldn't say that. They might take away my gate membership card.
Yes. How dare you?
All right. Well, James, it's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You know you're always welcome. And I want to say thank you to everybody for listening. And until next time, this is Brandon Ford wishing you all unpleasant dreams.